All right, look, we're live now. Okay, cool. I had to hit that live shit because Facebook gives us till like the minute before, like no, it gives us 9 minutes after the scheduled time to go live. So apologize for that, folks. We were reminiscing about all our history and shit. Fuck, we'll just talk about that. But welcome to Keyboard Warriors Live, presented by RepTheWarriors.com. I'm Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. Dude, so I'm scrolling back through all of our live shows, right? And we're over 1,000 live shows. Okay. But you and I did our first one on this channel. God damn, it looks like December 8th, 2014.
Woohoo, Lord.
2014. Dude,
So
we've been doing
6 years ago, technically speaking, but like almost 7 if you just count the numbers.
Right. Yeah, that's a long ass time, dude. Let me see the very first live episode on this channel. Oh, I take it back. We were the very first one, November 11th, 2014. We did the very first episode. It was me, you, looks like Nick Pilecki, and I don't know if you remember John Galloway. Do you remember him?
Yeah, of course.
John Galloway, the redhead. Yeah, the red beard, and he just disappeared one day. But we've been doing this shit since 2014, dude.
It's been a long time, man. Yeah, we were just reminiscing, going down Reminisce Alley before we went live, talking about old interviews and shit. We would like to. We're contemplating interviewing fighters on this channel,
right?
But it's me and Eddie were just discussing before we went live, having fucking families and trying to get our businesses in line and stuff. It's really hard to. We were talking about, back in the day, I used to do this podcast with my homeboy Aaron Robbins, shout out to Mr. AR. We used to do this podcast called Stand and Bang, and we would interview fucking UFC and Bellator fighters. And we were just talking about the way of getting the interviews. You just sort of, you pester them. You just DM a shitload of fighters. You DM 13, 14 fighters. 1 to 2 of them bitches are bound to respond to you. And that's how we got our guests every week. But it's very time consuming doing that shit. So we're contemplating trying a little something like that, but we got to get it a little bit of a better, a little bit more of a calm spot in life that we can devote some energy to that bullshit.
No, 100%, dude. I'm looking at videos, dude. Me in 2014, I look like a fucking baby,
bro. You was shit.
I got legit. I got
years ago, Jack.
I got a fade. I got a clear cut. No, they didn't fade it enough. What the fuck?
What? No gray in that beard 7 years
no gray.
ago.
Holy dude, there was no gray in my beard. There was no white. There was no stress. This is crazy. Dude, I might sit back tonight, smoke a joint, and just look at a bunch of our old shit, dog, because this is nuts.
Every once in a while, one of those old videos pops up. It'll be fucking me, you, and Jeremiah, me, you, and the Vanilla Gorilla, me, you, and the Almighty English or something. I'll watch a little bit. I'm like, yo, we've been at this for a long time, Jack.
Dude, long ass time. It was our very first video. And it was live, right? Now, first of all, nobody was doing this shit live when we were. I can tell you that for sure. Like, outside of the nose, right? Nobody else is going live. And every time I invited someone on the show live, I was like, hey, man, this thing's live. It's like, oh, why is it live? And it's like, because that's what I'm used to. Keep in mind, I used to be like, do radio. I did TV for a minute. I used to do like this shit. And so I'm spot on. Let's fucking go. And not afraid of not having edited shit online. And like people turned me down, dude, to be on the show. The only person that was always gung ho fucking get go was you. And like I have the video up right, like going on my other computer right now, my work computer. And dude, you have like the Jesus look going on. Like your backdrop isn't what it is now. It's like a hallway.
Yeah.
With like a door to your left. I was like, God damn.
Yep, I used to do it in my kitchen and shit when I first did it. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. It was fucked.
Yeah, but it was fun. And then Nick Pilecki's on this one. And goddamn, dude, we knew Nick when he was a baby. Now he's got some like, some fucking hair on his chin and shit. Have you talked to him lately?
Yeah. We're Facebook friends, so I still keep up with him and his transgressions.
What's up, Raider? We were talking about you off the air a second ago about the people that have stuck with us for since like the beginning. I know you've been around for a while with us, so we appreciate the fuck out of you for sure. Everyone, we appreciate the hell out of everybody, right?
Years and years, for sure.
But goddamn, dude, and then I'm trying to find the video, like the first one we got Jesse on.
Okay, hold on. I hate to break this up. But I want to get into this. I want to get into something, and we don't got a whole lot to talk about, but I want to get to this because it's happening soon. Okay. All right. Friday night, is the big premiere. Paige Van Zandt. First off, they're calling it Knuckle Mania, which is just about the damnedest thing I've ever fucking heard of. But Paige Van Zandt, I'll be honest with you, man. I low key didn't think this shit was going to happen. I almost just didn't think she was actually going to do it. But it looks like, lo and behold, Paige Van Zandt is going to make her bare knuckle boxing debut this Friday night. How fucking pumped are you? Are you paying for it? Come on, don't play with me. I know we're all streaming. I know every one of you cocksuckers in the fucking chat are streaming. It's not playing with me. Ain't nobody paying for this. But are we excited to watch it? I'll grant you. I have a very, very, very morbid curiosity about this. I'm not going to talk you.
That I'm gonna be doing a lot of, oh god, no. Okay, like I don't think I want to see her get beat up like that. Mind you, we've seen her get bloodied up and smacked around, and everyone. Her biggest quality anyone ever talks about is the fact that she's tough, which is not the best quality to have when you're a fighter, because tough doesn't make you a winner, right? Clearly, she's not in the UFC anymore. But dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you watched the Head Kick. Shout out to Head Kick. He just did an interview with Britain Hart, who she's fighting. This chick is not fucking around. I don't know what Paige's like ambitions on this, but I watched that interview and Britain Hart is not fucking around in this fight. She wants to kill that chick bad.
That's what I was wondering is, does anybody know anything about the broad she's fighting? I mean, who the fuck is this broad? Can she box? Where is she from? Does she have any fucking credentials of any sort or kind? I mean, did they just find Paige a jobber to go out there and look good against, or is Paige going to get her fucking face busted up in this one?
See, I wish they would have found her a jobber. Like, if she's really gonna try and fucking do this shit and be in it for a minute, and this is just like a one and done fuck it thing, like I wish they would find her a jobber. But she doesn't look like one, dude. If you look up her fights, like she's not the most technical fighter out there, but she'll get in there and scrap. And if Paige thinks it's gonna be an easy cakewalk, she's just out of her mind. I'm trying to find stuff on her right now.
Now, what sort of a background? What sort of a background does she come from? MMA, boxing, bare knuckle? Like, what's her background in martial arts?
All right, so pulling up her. Does she even have a shirt dog? I don't even know. Oh, she's definitely got some boxing experience. Let's see what else she's got. Okay. She don't have a shirt dog account, so that's her profile. So that's one thing. She's a pro boxer out of Bedford, Virginia. She's 4-4-3. So she's got boxing experience to where Paige has MMA experience. How that's gonna come into play, we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's nothing too there's not a lot to her. Let's see her last. Let's see, Britain's 30 years old. Layton, Utah. Last fight. She's got a 2-fight winning streak. Oh, wow. Okay, so she's got a knockout win, round 4 in bare knuckle BKFC. In November last year, she finished Randine Elcom in the 4th round. So she's got a finish in bare knuckle boxing.
That's already fucking a big one, though. I mean, she has some experience with this bare knuckle shit, and she's from a boxing background. Watch Paige go in there and get her funny little blonde ass lit up.
She might do. She hasn't fought since what was that? July of last year, and she got armbarred by Amanda Ribas in the 1st round. Before that, she beat Rachel Ostovich in 2019 by armbar, but I don't see any like TKO or KO finishes. Until that Beck Rawlings fight in 2016, where she did a switch kick.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. I was there for that. Well, not live, but like I watched that Beck. That was some low key luck. She kept throwing them wild ass kicks the whole fight, and then she fucked around and got lucky and landed one. But like that wasn't exactly fucking Lyoto Machida shit for the record.
Right. No. Right. No. Paige in trouble. Look, man. As positive as she wants to be, talking about I'm here to fight, I'm here to win, all that other shit. She's in trouble. Like I said, if anyone watch Head Kick's interview with her, with Britain Hart, dude, no, like I think they fucked up giving Paige this fight.
So how excited? 1 to 10, scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you for this?
God, I hate to say it, 3. I don't care.
Eh,
I don't
okay.
care.
I'm a
Dude, I
little.
don't give a
I
fuck.
can't.
Like,
I'm a solid 5 or 6. I'm
okay.
curious. I'm curious to see the carnage that comes from it.
How much shit is she gonna do where they're gonna use Paige for her name, right? She's got name value. She's a good looking girl. Everyone knows who she is for the most part. Um, and obviously, again, she's nice eye candy. Whatever, people get mad about that if they want to. Promoters use that. Let's be honest. Promoters fucking use that if they got it. How many times are they gonna use this chick like that before they finally realize that she ain't got much? You know what I mean? She said it herself. She makes more money on Instagram. I wish she took that route.
I mean, I'll tell you what, depending on how bad this fucking fight goes, it might be fucking up her Instagram career. I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but like, Jesus
Right.
Christ, this is no joke. She could get her fucking face completely fucked up out there. And I mean,
Right.
to be fair to her point, maybe that's her point, is that she doesn't care and she wants to prove that she's a real warrior. I mean, fair play to her. I'm slightly excited. I mean, and it's Friday night too, so it's not going to interfere with the final Saturday. So I'm here for it.
Right. We'll talk about that card on in a little bit here. Let me go over the comments because there's a bunch. All right. Otis was good, man. Cyril Game Erosion Strike on February 27th, and I am excited for that one. Those are 2 legit motherfuckers at heavyweight in a division that needs some excitement while we wait for John Jones to do his fucking shit and get up here. But what do you think about that one?
I love it. And they're like right sort of, I feel like they're both at the same sort of spot in the division too, where they're right outside that sort of top 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're right there bubbling. They're not quite in title contention. But obviously Cyril Gain is sort of the new talent. We're all curious to see exactly what his ceiling is. And Rosenstruck is coming off of a loss.
Yeah, he got beat by Francis Ngannou, I think.
Yeah. So he sort of needs to get back on the train. I think this is, again, I've been a little bit critical of the UFC matchmakers as of late, the last few years. Again, I'm a Joe Silva guy, but I think this is a good one, man. This is a really, really good matchup to see where both of these guys are at and what their future will probably be in the division moving forward.
Right. Jesse was good, man. Well, Jesse,
is.
do you remember when you came on the first time? We were just talking about a little while ago about how long we've been doing this shit. Looks like since 2014, but might even before that on a different channel. I just don't remember. But Fred was here November 11th or 8th, or something like that, 2014. Do you remember when you were on here first, dude? Because I don't remember the date, but I remember we've done over 1,000. I know Adam asked that shit. Where is he at? Yeah, he goes, how many episodes have you guys done? Over 1,000 live episodes, apparently.
Mhm.
And 350 or so uploaded ones where it's just like, pick them, pick shows, bullshit I used to do. I used to do fucking show when I was driving to work. I still do it once in a while, but I used to do it on fucking Periscope, and Periscope used to let you download the video, and I would upload it to YouTube. But anyway, we've done a lot. Otis says Bobby Green versus Jim Miller for February 13th, UFC 258. Jim Miller, the vet, taking on Bobby Green, who's finally getting some fucking decision wins here and there. Good test for Bobby Green and a winnable fight for Jim Miller, kind of.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like Bobby Green's going to fucking dog Jim Miller out and knock the fuck out of him. But then again, Jim Miller's one of those guys that every time I feel like that, you know, motherfuckers forget, like, Jim Miller's got a fucking submission win over DuBronx.
Right.
I know. It was a long time ago. I get it. But goddamn it happened. And I remember going, and listen, this isn't like when DuBronx was like, in LFA or some shit or Jungle Fight. It was in the UFC. I remember going into that fight, I was thinking that fucking DuBronx would probably get the submission. And he ended up getting submitted by Jim Miller. That I knew Jim Miller was slick on the ground, but that was the fight where I was like, God damn, Jim Miller is like no joke on the ground. He's got some serious fucking submission skills to be fucking submitting goddamn DuBronx like that.
He's a bad motherfucker.
That being said, he's had fucking Lyme disease for like 13 years now. He's fucking 172 years old. I mean, Jim Miller's definitely at the end of his career for sure. He's got maybe a few fights at best. And Bobby Green, I've always said, if he can get his shit together, like I've always thought that he's one of those dudes that's, he's an offensive dynamo, man. He's a good striker. He hits fucking hard. He's a good scrambler. He's a good grappler. he's just one of those dudes that just can never put it all together to really have the performances like I feel like he should have. You know what I mean? So, but dangerous fight for Jim Miller this late in his career for all of me.
For sure. I mean, it could be one of those where everyone starts going like, "Oh, you should retire." We'll see.
Yeah.
Jessica Panay returning from a 4-year hiatus because she got suspended on some bullshit and then made an OnlyFans to take on Hannah Goldie March 27th, UFC 260. That's a long time from now. Who knows? With Panay's fucking luck, that fight don't even happen. Watch. Tyron Woodley versus Vicente Luque for March 27th, UFC 260. I think Tyron Woodley fucked up.
That's an interesting fight. That's a really interesting fight because that is Tyron Woodley's, back against the wall fight.
100%.
I hate to, ever say like this is a fight where, fighter A or fighter B has to win this one. Bruh. Tyron Woodley. Now, and not only does he necessarily have to win this fight, but like he sort of has to win it impressively. Like he needs to come out and dominate Vicente Luque, or we're just going to be like, bro, you are done. If he acts gun shy, he has to come out and really put on a performance to turn it around for us, or we are. I think this is Tyron Woodley's last fucking call for alcohol, Jack.
Dude, to be fair, Tyron Woodley, if he don't show up with that, wrestler and overhand right wrestler that he used to do, that he won the title with, really. I mean, you remember that knockout of Robbie Lawler. If he shows up with something like that, he's fucked. If we get gunshot Tyron Woodley, that's game. I mean, that's just game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Paulo Costa was Robert Whittaker, April 7th. Damn. Damn.
That's a fantastic fight.
Oh, who wins that one? That's a fight, bro. I
mean, you gotta favor Robert Whittaker in this fight, 100%. Right? It seems like this is the fight that Robert Whittaker wins. I mean, like, I feel like this fight should look a lot like the Romero fights. I mean,
right.
To some degree, just this bludgeoning, powerful striker. Although, to be fair, Paulo Costa might be a bit more of a technical, accurate striker than Romero. So, I don't know, man. I would favor Whittaker for sure. He's got that sort of. I could definitely see him making Paul tired and taking him into the fucking deep waters in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. That being said, the first round or two, Robert Whittaker does tend to get hit. And Paulo Costa can fucking crack for sure. So,
and he cracks hard early.
Right. So it's like, I think it's one of these fights where we either see Robert Whittaker get knocked out in the 1st or 2nd round, or he's probably going to throw fucking Paulo Costa a beating in those late rounds.
No, 100%. Like, with Paulo Costa coming out, he always comes out guns blazing, trying to fucking kill you quick, right? He's not trying to be. He's got decent cardio. He's not trying to use it, but yeah, Robert Whittaker gets hit quick. I mean, he is able to just. I mean, 'cause I think he'll be quicker than Paulo. So I think he'll be able to manage it. But man, that's a crazy fight. Mr. Beckham, what's the good, man? Glad there are fights this weekend. Everybody is, man. Those it was for me. It was a nice little 3-week break. I enjoy those, but that last week, man, I was breaking a little bit. Arnold Allen versus Sodiq Yusuff for April 10th. There you go.
Ooh, that's a fire fight right there, boy.
That's a good fight. Don't put that shit on the prelims, Jesus. Okay. Otis didn't even give us a question. He gave us a loser of the weekend, and I feel bad for him. James Vick got knocked the holy fuck out in his last fight, and I forgot the name of the promotion, but it was an XMMA or something like that. But he got knocked the holy fuck out, and he retired. He put a post on Instagram, something like that, and it was kind of like a heartbreaking thing to read, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're an emotional person, you'll read that shit and be like, God damn, like, you might feel it a little bit. But what do you think? James Vick himself, like, now that he's done, allegedly, right? Did he go too long? Like, watching his last fights in the UFC, did he go too long? Did he maybe, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I honestly think that James Vick is an extremely interesting case study, to be fair with you. Like, I mean, you have to remember, dude, James Vick went on one hell of a run in the UFC. I think he was like 10-1 or some shit like that before he fought Justin Gaethje. or he was on like an 8-fight winning streak or some shit like that before he fought Justin Gaethje. I mean, it was something. I mean, he's not a guy who like, you know, traded wins and losses in the UFC and never really had a meaningful win and sort of should have never been there. Now, he's not necessarily a guy that reached title contention, but he was this close. He was there. If he would have knocked out Justin Gaethje, he would have been right there in title contention. I mean, to get to title contention at lightweight in the UFC, I don't think I need to explain to anybody watching this podcast how big of a fucking deal that is. So it's fair to say, I know a lot of people don't like him, and I know he trains with Lloyd Irvin, and a lot of people think that Lloyd Irvin's a piece of shit, which he is, understandably so, fair enough.
Right.
But all things being equal, we all have to admit that James Vick was a very talented fighter. Make no mistake about it, one way or the other. The dude was very talented. After the Justin Gaethje loss, I mean, he fell off a fucking cliff. And I wonder about that sometimes, man. I think there really is. Now, with certain fighters, you see it with age. Anderson Silva was in the Matrix until he got knocked out by Chris Weidman, and then he never won another fight. He won one fight against Derek Brunson, and that was debatable. BJ Penn was an unstoppable force of nature, and then he lost that fight against Frankie Edgar. I think he won one more fight after that at one point, and then he just lost everything. Now, I think those are definitely different than James Vick, but there's something about some guys that I just think if they suffer a brutal defeat or loss, and again, I'm sort of taking Anderson and BJ out of that equation because they had suffered brutal losses earlier in the career that let it be known that those are different cases in general. But something happens to these guys after they suffer a loss like that sometimes, and I just think I think it's mental. I don't think nothing's terribly wrong with James Vick physically. I don't think that his like timing or speed or power is that much different than it was when he was competing in the UFC 2 or 3 years ago. I just think that mentally it's not there. I mean, listen, George St. Pierre's funny ass had to go see a fucking sports psychologist after the knockout of Matt Serra. And to be fair, he completely changed the way he fought after that. I mean, he fought very, very, you know, some of you young heads know George St. Pierre as the wrestle guy. Bro, I promise you, there was a time in his career where George St. Pierre was not the wrestle guy. He was a karate guy. He wore a fucking gi to the goddamn fucking octagon, and it wasn't a goddamn Brazilian jiu-jitsu gi. It was a Kyoshin karate gi. He was a fucking striker by nature. He head kicked Matt Hughes. I mean, George was a striker until he got knocked out. And I only bring that up to say that if he hadn't have got that sports psychologist and he hadn't have figured out this different way to fight, if he would have came in and got clipped by one more guy, you know, George St. Pierre's whole career could have went completely fucking differently because of that one loss. I just think that sometimes, man, those knockout losses can just completely, or just maybe a smothering, dominating loss, just completely break some fighters and completely change who they are as a fighter. And sadly, I think that's sort of what happened to James Vick, man. After that Gaethje knockout, he just never, ever got it back on track.
I mean, the way that knockout happened was a savage ass knockout, if I remember correctly. But his UFC career for James, so his UFC career for James Vick started in 2013, August 2013, against Ramsey Najim, who he submitted by guillotine choke in the first round. Then he beat Valmir Lazaro and Nick Heim by decision. He guillotine choked Jake Matthews. He decision Glyco Franca. Then he got knocked out by Benil Dariush. Then in his 4-fight win streak where he took out Abel Trujillo, who used to be a bad motherfucker. Now he's like in trouble. Marco Polo Reyes, Joseph Duffy, and Francisco Trinaldo beat him all. And then Justin Gaethje took his head off. Paul Felder beat him by decision. Dan Hooker knocked him out. Nico Price knocked him out. And now Andre Fiallo knocked him out.
And I mean, to be fair, other than the Andre Fiallo dude, all top-notch guys that knocked him out, to be completely fucking honest. Like, I understand why he would want to quit and stuff, but I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. I think it's fair to say and should be stated that MMA is just a game of millimeters, of centimeters, man. And sometimes you just miss the swing by that much, and you do it 3 or 4 times in a row, and people are like, "Oh, he's a bum. He's a bum." It's even like the Conor thing. Like, not to just get completely sidetracked here, but a lot of people are like, "Does Conor got it left?" I don't think he's got it left, and I don't think he can do it no more. I mean, listen, maybe he can't, but you know, that fight was a very close fight right up until the time that it wasn't. It's not like Conor came out there and looked like absolute shit. I mean, people try to his stance was different and he looked a little slower and a little blah. Yeah, maybe he looked a little slightly off, but he thunderstruck Dustin a few times. Took some good shots himself. I mean, the first round was very fucking close. I just think that it just depends on fucking what he wants to fucking do. You know what I mean?
And I don't know, dude. Like, just going off what you said about when fighters suffer like a devastating loss, like that. I don't think that's what happened to Conor. Like, the first time he got knocked out, sure, right? But doesn't mean his chin's gone or anything. I don't think.
Right.
We'll find out.
Right. And mentally, I think thanks for reminding me. I lost my train of thought there. I think coming off of this, we'll see mentally. He might come back out and maybe they'll do another fight with, Tony or Justin or whoever, and he'll get thunderstruck in the first round. Or maybe he comes out and bounces right back and it's like it never happened. That's what he did in the Nate Diaz fight. So like it's just hard to fucking say, but I think a lot of that shit is mental, how fighters bounce back from them losses or not sometimes.
I'll tell you this: like, if he comes back and gets knocked the fuck out again, you can start saying that whole does he have it anymore? Until then, it's
we'll
relax.
See. We'll see. But true though, very true though.
Yeah. Beckham says he's looking forward to Bare Knuckle Friday night. And Raiders like, who's PVC fighting? Nobody knows.
Yes, fraud.
So Dustin versus McAdoo is happening, huh? Well, if not now, eventually it should. Although, don't hold your breath. We still waiting for the Nate Diaz trilogy, and that shit's not even. That every year we get teased with some shit like that, so who knows? But I'm willing to bet that Poirier and Mac run it back before Nate and Mac do. Hello, Paige is gonna die and lose her fans only account. Does she have one? I don't even know she has one.
I don't think she does. I think that's rude.
Otis, I keep saying it. Guys who defend Lloyd Irvin get what they deserve.
I mean, yeah, exactly. He's a
culty motherfucker. What did he do? What is he known for doing that's so evil besides having like a fucking cult? What did he do?
I don't remember. So a lot of like rapey sort of allegations. I think.
Yeah, I forget that.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, HM says his excitement level for bare knuckle fighting is 4. Beckham says 7. Paige just stayed in MMA and went to Bellator or PFL. I agree.
I completely fucking agree, dude. I thought Bellator was the perfect fucking fit for Paige. Like, I will, I'll give MMA this, man. MMA is so young as a sport, and it's so fucking chaotic. There's no predictability. I mean, honestly, all bullshit aside, who the fuck didn't think that Paige was going to fucking Bellator? I mean, that's perfect.
I thought it was a given.
Right. I think we all did. And then, so maybe she pulls an Anthony Pettis and she gets cute and she goes to the PFL instead. But fucking bare knuckle boxing? Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ, I love this shit. You couldn't have fucking wrote a better script. Who the fuck saw that coming?
Yeah, dude, fucking hell. Like that shit is like, when I heard bare knuckle fighting, I was like, who? Paige Van Zandt? No, she didn't. Like, literally my reaction was, no, she didn't. Yes, she did. Like, no, she didn't.
Okay, so and I don't want to go back on this because I know we're sort of done talking about it. But just to put this in context a little bit, now that I'm thinking about it, all things being equal, say she did sign to Bellator, and this Friday night she was making her Bellator debut against a nobody, because I don't know nobody at that division. So same sort of jive. What would you be more excited for? Because now, if I'm being fucking honest, I think I'm more excited to see what happens in bare knuckle fighting. Like, if she was just fighting a humdrum, whatever, and I would tune in and we'd be like, okay, so Paige is in Bellator, let's see if she can get a W. But it would be very run of the mill. Now that she's in bare knuckle, I'm very sort of like, I'm going to be, when the fight starts, I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck's about to happen? Is Paige going to get a knockout? Is she going to get a little face broken? In Bellator, it would be very sort of normal. I just now thought about that. Maybe her and her management team know something I don't. Maybe that's why they do what they do, and I sit here and shoot my fucking mouth off about it. Because if I'm being honest, I guess I am a little more intrigued now that she's doing bare knuckle instead of just random Joe in Bellator.
Look, when you put it that way, yeah, you're right. 100%. Because there's no way Scott Coker would give her someone that could actually fight back. At least not the first, 10 fights. But like the only way you can get me excited for Paige Van Zandt and Bellator is if you put her in there against Valerie. Like her and Valerie Loretta are close. I think Valerie's a 25er. Yeah, it's 25er, and so is Paige Van Zandt. So yeah, they're both 25er. So fuck it. Like make that fight. I'd be like, okay, I'm tuning in to watch that fight. I want to see what happens because Valerie's got a mean streak. Wow, Valerie's got a mean streak. And it's a good looking fight overall. So, but yeah, now that you mentioned it, when you put it that way, okay, yeah, I'm a little more excited for this weekend now.
I sort of get it too. Yeah, just by the morbid curiosities alone.
Right.
I mean, we've seen Paige do MMA fights. We've seen her against high level competition. We've seen her against Can. So we sort of know what that looks like. What we haven't fucking seen her do is a bare knuckle boxing match. So I mean, fair enough. Fair play to it. Fuck your 4s and your 7s. My fucking intrigue just went up to fucking 8.5. We're going.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, someone just hit me up on Twitter saying, "Hey, can you mention that Jessica Rose Clark is using Instagram correctly?"
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. Let me go to her Instagram real quick.
She's using it correctly.
Oh no, she is using it correctly.
She's still on her snatch.
She apparently she got a booty now. She's a 35er.
What's her? Who is it? Jessica Rose Clark.
No, yeah, it's Miss Jessie Jess. So it's Miss and then Jessy Jess. God damn, she is damn sure using it correctly.
MSJESSY.
No, MISS.
Oh, for fuck's sakes with the MISS.
Yeah, you know how they do that shit. MISSJESSYJESS.
Okay, there we go. Okay, listen.
I'm not mad at it, dude. Good job. Anyway, we'll talk about Megan Anderson in a minute, folks. I just thought about that right now. I was like, we're totally somewhat doing that shit. Anyway, all right. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So yeah, fella, appreciate the shout out. Hold up. Patrons by TKO, says Beckham. I will see. I think that they're literally trying to get Paige all cut up. That's what a lot of people want to see. Look, man, either way, people are going to watch for it, right? I hope Paige does win, though, says Raider.
That'd be nice. That'd be cool to see her win.
Yeah. Raider says the post-fight shows were the best, I think. Yeah. I don't remember the day, but I jumped on with you guys in English. Right. I forget. I don't even know how the fuck I ran into Jesse on Twitter, but I know it was on Twitter.
Because you're both fucking Mexican.
Right. Eddie used to have the show to do the show driving to work, and legit he must have a huge ass motor because I would be all confused like, damn, the car's loud. Yeah. Yeah. I started doing that. I had a big fucking V8 on my GMC Sierra pickup truck, and then now I have a V8 Charger with a fucking exhaust on it. So it's a lot of shit. Miller has some wear and tear on him. He's got years, man. Years of wear and tear. I love Bobby Green. Bobby Green's fun. What can I say? It would lose to Luke. It may be time to leave the sport. It's definitely going to be time to leave the UFC. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, Scott Kobe calling him.
Right.
Coco will call him. Raider, those shows were hilarious when Eddie would go road rage on dummies on the road. I still do it. If Woodley gets finished, then it most of the time to go. Remember when Joanna murdered Penny's face? That was gold. That was bad.
Yeah,
she got nose surgery after that shit. That's how bad that was. And let me tell you, it doesn't look any different, but I hope she can breathe through it. Fuck. Joanna Jacek versus Yan.
Ooh, nice.
I know that name. Yes.
Yeah, that Jan might be fucking biting off a bit more than she can chew right there, Jack. But I guess at some point you got to get thrown into the deep end of the pool. So let's see what's doing. That must mean that Rose is fighting Weili Zhang, though, right?
That's got to be it. Zhang Weili versus Rose.
Yeah, that has to be it. If they book Joanna versus somebody else. And don't fucking give me the Carla Esparza. Fuck off with the Carla Esparza bullshit, please.
Ain't nobody want to see that fight, man. I'm glad Carla's getting paid, but ain't nobody want to see that fight, dude.
Hey, right now, I'm only one person, but I ain't sending no threats. If you book it against Carla, I'm streaming it. Everybody ass, I don't pay for that one, goddamn it.
Shit, watch me making a main event. I dropped my IG no events to post right now. Sick of posting dog pics. I get you. Yeah, dude. Raider always could post it up. You go to a lot of live events. Goddamn. Jeremiah, talking about OGs that have been on the show before. Hey, what's up, dude?
Been there since day one.
Right. I wrote for the website first. I think from there you invited me to jump on the live. Right. So we used to have a website, and it was crossbonesmma.com, and it was a legit website. I tried to put it together. I was working on getting advertisers so we can get the ads for clicks and all that shit, and get a half a cent or less per click. But I didn't want to do that. And I think that to me, I thought that was not a waste of time, but I thought that was like I'm not doing this for clickbait, dude. And honestly, doing the shows is way more fun. So that's kind of what we went with. All right, let's talk Megan Anderson real quick. Did you see all that shit went down with what's his name? Casey,
whatever. Kearney,
something like that.
Kenny, some shit like that. Yeah. So it was Sean O'Malley. Okay, so first off, hold on. We're gonna get to fucking Casey Kasem and him talking about wanting to smash Megan Anderson or whatnot. First off, for the record, Casey, you are disgusting looking, and Megan probably wouldn't smash you even if you wanted to, big guy. So you might want to lower your fucking standards down. But first off, before we get into that, let me address in the same little video clip that went viral on Twitter. Oh, Sugar Sean. I like Sugar Sean. Don't get me wrong. I like Sean O'Malley.
Oh, yeah.
But he was talking about doing heroin. And he's like, what if you just try it once? I'm not stupid, man. I'm not just going to let something ruin my life.
Right.
Ooh, Sean, baby boy, you're a good kid. But clearly, you don't have a whole lot of experience with the drug world. And, it's funny. I retweeted it. And most everybody liked it. I just retweeted it like, motherfucker, you have no idea what Uncle Hank does, obviously. And you probably have never been around somebody with an actual heroin addiction if you're saying something that fucking moronic and stupid. All due respect to Don. But fucking when I retweeted it,
see you, Jesse.
Later, Jesus. One dude responded with, just don't get addicted to it. I went to his fucking thing. You know where he was from? Fucking Amsterdam. So of course this fucking prick shooting his mouth off. Listen, let me tell you something. Don't listen to that fucking prick. Don't ever try fucking heroin. I don't give a fuck what you think how strong you fucking think your mind is. There's a reason why those drugs are not to be trifled with. They change how strong your mind is. They change you as a human being, what your morals are. Those sort of drugs will completely change your fucking soul. So, Sean, if you think you're that bad of a dude, go on. Knock yourself up, baby. Beam yourself up to the moon one time. I fucking doggy dare you to try that shit, motherfucker. Give it a whirl.
Bro, he said that shit with his baby in his arms, though. I was like, really?
Yeah.
You don't look at that kid like, come on, man. Like, fuck. Like, I look at my kids and I'm just like, I better slow down. I don't need to get it. I don't need to be going 90 out here unless some stupid shit. Like, you think I'm gonna do meth? Fuck out of here. That's just weird.
Yeah. Try heroin? Are you fucked in the head, Sugar Sean? You better wake up. Okay, so yes, that was fucked. Now we get on to fucking Casey Kearney, or I'm calling him Casey Kasem. We get on to Casey Kasem, and whoever the fucking other dick was, the other guy that does the fucking the question readings on the Sugar Sean podcast. He throws it out there. Would you smash Megan Anderson?
Right.
What is she? 145-pound contender? Is she at 35? Or 40?
Yeah, she's fighting. She's fighting Amanda Nunes at 45.
Okay. 145-pound female featherweight title contender for any of you out there who may not know who Megan Anderson is. Now, Casey Kasem goes on to say, I don't know verbatim what he said. Oh, I kind of doubt it. Or, maybe if I was kind of hammered, she's like one of those ones that you call at like 2 or 3 in the morning. You like smash when you're drunk or something, bro. Which, first off, again, Casey, I don't know if you've seen a mirror lately, baby, but you ain't all that great looking. The ladies definitely at your fucking door to throw pussy, so you need to wake up with that. Now, that being said, I'm not one to get on those soapbox and talk no shit. This podcast is sort of built around the idea that we do Fighter Bash. We have literally rated the females' asses and tits on this podcast. This is not the podcast to sort of get on that program and act like we don't do things like that. But let me also explain something to you. As we said coming into this, We do this podcast because we enjoy it. We don't fucking get paid. There are no sponsors. We are not a part of any sort of organization. Therefore, we have no sort of obligations to any goddamn body. Me and fucking Eddie can do whatever the fuck we want to on this podcast. And if you guys don't like it or you think it's morally wrong, you can suck our dicks and turn it the fuck off. It's very simple. Now, if we were sponsored by ESPN, if I was a fighter in the UFC, I wouldn't come on and be like, yeah, I'd like to fucking rail whoever the fuck in their asshole until they're coming out of their eyeballs. We can get away with saying that shit. We're not a sponsored podcast. We are not. Those are not our fucking coworkers, man. We are far removed from that situation. Casey Kasem, when you are in the fucking national spotlight and you are on the UFC roster and we live in the Me Too era and you're on a podcast of a wildly successful UFC fighter and you get asked that question, you, sir, should shut the fuck up. Don't be I think I'd smash her in the middle of the night if I had too many margaritas. You fucking fucktard. Of course it caused a shitstorm.
So it's Casey Kenny. Apparently Casey Kasem has been dead, but we know what you're saying. Anyway, but yeah, dude, I thought it was stupid at best. I didn't see it, like live. I only went to go see. I didn't even watch the whole episode. I watched that part in the fucking meth part. After I heard about what he said about Megan, because Megan got pissed and posted about, apparently MMA is the one profession where you could talk about smashing one of your coworkers, like, and then they're both fighting on the same card. Apparently, it's so fucking ridiculous. HMS says Megan's hot. Fair enough.
Listen, this is the podcast. If you want to, you could say you'd like to blow a load on Megan's face. We don't work for the UFC. We're not getting paid anything. We're not sponsored by anybody. That's sort of the glory of us being here doing this. But I can guarantee you, all bullshit aside, real talk, if we were sponsored by ESPN or if we were getting paid by whoever the fuck to do a podcast, we would not be saying those sort of things. We would not be carrying on like that. I wouldn't be. If I was getting a paycheck to do this shit, it'd be clearly obvious you can't say that shit. If I was whoever the fuck for the UFC, if I worked for the UFC in any sort of capacity, if I'm fucking John Anik, I'm not getting on a podcast like, I'd hit that bitch from behind, Jack. Like, come on, man. What the fuck, dude? You dicks can't say that.
No, and on top, exactly. But on top of that, it's just like now you got to go see her, bro, and see what's up. Now, and whatever. The whole thing's fucking seeding, kind of gross. Sugar Sean is so gross, man. Like, for real, take a shower and stay off the drugs, kid. Yeah, well, I think Megan is sexy, to be honest. Fair enough. Casey Kenny, Kasem is dead, man. Yeah, he's a radio jockey, if I remember correctly.
I'm being an asshole.
I know.
He's being, look, and listen, I'm going to tell you something right now, too. I'm going to tell you this right now. Without a shadow of a doubt, there ain't a God in heaven if Casey Kasem ain't fucked uglier broads than Megan Anderson. I'll suck your dick in third main if Casey Kasem ain't fucked an uglier broad than Megan Anderson. He's full of shit. Before he got to the UFC, he was smashing fours at best.
Probably smashed the pregnant ring girl or whatever the fuck promotion he started at. Dude, I'm sorry, but she's a 5 a.m.er. But yeah, I take my virginity back before I go touch Casey.
Exactly. She might not be the greatest, but come on, Casey. You ain't exactly burning up the fucking hot-o-meter either, my guy.
Exactly. Wait, Kenny Casey. Crap, I watched that guy in LFA. I forgot his name now. Yeah, he only worked his way up. We'll see. He's a bantamweight. And apparently Dominic Cruz did something hurtful and he got all pissy.
They're fighting. That's his next fight.
Yeah.
And I love that. You cute little prick. Now you're going to get your fucking ass whipped. Let me tell you something.
No,
Dominic might be...
Yeah. No, I was going to say the best part of the whole thing is that Dominic is watching this whole thing and he just coming up with what he's going to say to this motherfucker on interviews and shit. It's going to be great.
Well, I was going to say, Dominic might be a bit long in the tooth. He might be hurt a little bit. He might lose to some of the top tiers, but I got to think, Casey Kasem ain't got nothing for Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz is going to go out there and style on Casey. Kenny, Bernie, whatever the fuck.
Okay. All right, quick one. Who's the hottest female fighter in the UFC? In the UFC, Rachel Oswald is out, right? Nah, I wouldn't even say Rachel. I'm still like a karate I'm still a Karate Hottie fan, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to give that some thought. I think
Yeah.
you know who I think it. Listen, I'm a fucking complete pig, but I've got levels to it. Like, I think the prettiest broad I think the prettiest girl in the UFC is Thug Rose. Like, I think she's the prettiest. Like, I think she's pretty. Now, who would I like to fucking pound out from behind and fucking choke and shove my fingers down their throat? I don't know. Probably one of those broads with a big fat ass, but
Yeah, I think you just call that Mackenzie Dern. What else you got? Nah. You know what? I'll say this. I think to me, Tracy Cortez. I think she takes it.
Or Valerie Laturdo. She would be she would be fine. Oh. She looks like she probably.
Valerie Laturdo or Loretta?
Loretta, whatever.
Loretta's Bellator, but I give
yeah.
Rose with hair. Yes, good call. Rose, she was really
she's fucking really pretty, dog. Like, she's like model pretty. You know what I mean? Like, real shit.
Yes. And I think she was a model for a minute. I don't 100% remember that, but still. All right. And then one more before we move on and talk real quick about this weekend's card because we're running out of time. Conor McGregor talking about why he lost his fight. Here's the thing: a lot of people are giving him grief for it, for what he wrote right on Instagram. What he had a fucking essay on there, but I gotta say I enjoy these things from McGregor. Like, he broke down the fight, what he did wrong, and what he thinks he could do better, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like one of the things that, as far as his approach on Poirier, he says, "quote a little single disciplined in my approach and stance with mostly boxing. It's what I get for picking this bout and an opponent as a precursor to a boxing match against Pac-Man," talking about the Manny Pacquiao fight. "I deserve to get the lick kicked off of me going in with this thinking. This is not the game to play around with." Like, he went in there against Poirier trying to be a boxer while preparing for the Manny Pacquiao fight. Like, he, for lack of a better term, he was overlooking Dustin Poirier, looking through him, past him ahead to Manny Pacquiao, assuming he was going to knock out Poirier. What did you think about his post and the reaction to it? Obviously, Conor fans love it. I enjoy it because I think he's just, it's good to hear the analysis from the horse's mouth. But a lot of people are just like, man, shut the fuck up. You're not going to come back and beat Dustin. I said, shit, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? I enjoyed it. I think he was pretty honest with what he said. I feel like it was pretty accurate about his analysis of the fight. Now, or whether he's going to come back and beat Dustin, that's a whole completely different fucking topic to argue. Right. But as far as him giving his analysis and breaking down what he did right and wrong, I felt like he was pretty accurate in his assessment. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, I sort of feel, I know the leg kicks were obviously pivotal, like in like fucking up Conor's game plan. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like Conor sort of underestimated Dustin's punching power. He sort of let himself lay on the cage and wait to bob right into that. I think he needs to maybe take a little bit of a different approach. I think maybe he put a little too much stock in his head movement. I mean, he was doing all this bullshit. He went bloom and he bobbed right when he should have weaved right into a punch that sat him on his keister. He should have been getting the fuck out of there. Now maybe if his leg was so compromised that he just couldn't even fucking circle left or right, or if he was already so dazed that he barely knew where he was at, and all he could do was move his head, then that's one thing. But I feel like he sort of gets a little too fucking cocky in there sometimes. And it's like, at that point, maybe you should have clinched or maybe not shot for a takedown, but just clinch, grab him, let him stop hitting you. There was a moment there. I mean, again, I'm a big Conor fan, so when he's standing out there on the and Dustin's finding his range in that ending sequence, as a Conor fan, I'm thinking, do something, stop bobbing and weaving, because you're going to eventually run into one of these punches, which is exactly what the fuck happened. So again, maybe he was compromised, maybe he was rocked, maybe his leg was hurt and he couldn't move that well, maybe his mobility was compromised. I don't know, but in my eyes, that's where it's like, that's sort of where you lost the fight a little bit. Like, right up until, because again, for all of me, up to that very moment where he sort of got rocked and put on the cage, the fight was close. Dustin wasn't throwing him a beating before that. I mean, Conor sort of lost the fight in like 15 seconds. I mean, it was a close fight. Dustin landed a big shot. Conor fell up against the cage, and Dustin sort of jumped on him, and Conor never moved. He just sort of bobbed and weaved and got clipped and dropped, and that was the end of it. So
I legit I forgot when it was that I was like, fucking shoot. Like Dustin's really good on the ground. He doesn't show up very much. I know he lifts the guillotine motherfuckers and everything, but I just thought he had a better shot at that moment. Like, take him down, dude. You cannot take any more leg kicks after that shit.
Well, at the end of the day, bro, great Kenny Rogers once said, you got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him. And I think that's a very, very important fighter IQ attribute, man. You got to know when to shoot and you got to know when you are in real trouble on your feet and not be like, I'm okay. I can handle this. No, the fuck you can't. You're rocked right now. And if he lands a good shot, you're going down. The fucking fight's over. You have got to stop this man from hitting you.
Yeah, no, and so I thought that takedown should have happened. Either way, I wonder what's next for him, but definitely needs to be something soon. He can't be inactive.
I will say this: no matter what happens next, I think the lightweight division is great. Let's quickly. I just want to quickly talk about this real quick. I don't want to get. We got to get into the Alistair Overeem card coming up this weekend. But I've heard a little bit of talk about fucking Habib and GSP again. This fight has sort of just resurfaced it. Like, this is the only fight that Habib might come back for and shit. I know we sort of stated our opinions on this fight. Just quickly, we're all still in agreement here that nobody wants to watch Habib come back. And is it just me, or is it fucking weird that Habib is publicly calling for the George St. Pierre fight? He wants that, right? We all know that he wants the George fight, but he won't take no other fight at 170. Is it just me, or is that not a little weird? Like, if you're willing to fight George at 70, and I know they were saying that the fight was going to happen at 55, but I think that boat's definitely sailed. Even if they did it, catch weight would be at best. I just don't understand. And I'll say this: it's not just Habib. Like, even the media. Why is nobody asking Habib to come back and fight at 170? I mean, we gave John Jones shit about it. We gave Anderson. Every other champion that has become way too dominant for their weight division, our natural inclination is always to be like, okay, well, if there's a division for you to move up to, unless you're fucking Stipe Miocic and you can't go no higher, the idea is always, if you clean a division. I mean, listen, Israel's doing it already. I mean, Israel's been champ less time than fucking Habib. Like, I just don't understand why nobody is wanting him to go up to 170, or nobody mentions it. Like, why is that? Like, am I the only one that's like, that would love to see Habib at 70 against like again, anybody in the top 5 at 170 would be interesting at this point.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you, right? But I do think it's weird, but I also kind of understand it. Like, Habib isn't. I wonder if he's even answering any interview calls, for example, right? Like, you gotta have, you gotta be available to be asked and everything. But like, the UFC so badly wants him to fight or wanted him to fight Conor again. Who the fuck knows what's gonna happen now? But I think that, dude, if he comes back to 170, you're not doing any other fight at 170 but a title fight for Habib. You're not giving him the top 3, like the number 3 guy, the number 2. You're giving him the champ, Usman. Habib is Usman. Now, is that something I would watch? Absolutely. Hell yeah. You want to see what he can do against a 170, a bigger guy, stronger guy, certainly. And similar skill set. But at the same time, like, I think Habib's past that whole shit. Like, a GSP fight would be a legacy fight. Like, I fought George St. Pierre and I beat him, right? I think that's the only reason he come back.
But here's the thing that's interesting about that to me. Yeah, you're totally right. But are we all not living in a fictitious bubble? Like, a win over George St. Pierre at this point in the game means nothing. Let me tell you something. I'm Team Conor. I've always been, Habib's a rat, just because, listen, you got to ride for your homies. You understand me? You got to ride for your team. Right. But, and I've always felt like, listen, at this point, it's hard to argue that Habib's been extremely dominant at 55, quite possibly the most dominant, definitely the most dominant 55er we've ever seen. Yeah. I'm reluctant to give him the greatest of all time at 55, just because I think he's quitting too soon. But I will tell you this. If Habib came back and beat Usman and took that fucking welterweight title, that would mean a lot to me. That would make me shut the fuck up, because a win over George at this point, so the fuck what, man? Who amongst us doesn't understand that a win over George St. Pierre in 2021 is nowhere near the same as a win over George St. Pierre in 2013? I mean, George St. Pierre is not a little bit past his prime. He is fucking way past his prime. That don't mean shit. Kamaru Usman is in his prime. When George St. Pierre, or I'm sorry, when BJ Penn moved up and fought George St. Pierre, it was a big fucking deal because George was in his prime and BJ was in his prime. Now, I realize that Kamaru Usman's name is not quite as sexy as George's, and hell, Habib's might not even be as sexy as BJ's was at the time. But that fight, if we're talking about a fight for legacy, if legacy is what Habib really wants, the legacy is with Usman and taking that belt from a prime Usman who took the belt from Tyron, which was supposed to be that guy.
So, right. So the other way I think about this whole Khabib thing is this: is how they keep asking if I'm coming back. I don't want to keep saying no. I'll just say I'll fight George St. Pierre, who I know for sure is not coming back. He ain't trying to fight anybody. More than likely. So just keep calling it a GSP fight. Worst case, GSP goes, okay, I'm down, and it happens, right? But I would love to like sit down and talk to Habib and like figure out what his intentions are, how the way his mind works when it comes to this game. Because what we've heard Dana say, like, Dana, be honest with yourself. Like, none of these guys can beat me at 55, right? Like, I wonder if he thinks the same way about 170. He might, but
that's what it's almost like I've never even heard nobody ask the guy. That's what I'm saying. I'm not even talking about necessarily Habib. It's like even the media. It's like mum's the word on him moving up to 170. I mean, fuck. I agree. It's probably he fights the champion or bust. But I still think a fight with him and Colby Covington is lit as fuck.
Habib was Colby?
Fuck yeah. And Colby would shoot that mouth off. And let me tell you something. I don't think Habib could Habib Colby. I do not think he could hold Colby down. I just don't think he's big enough. Now, that's what makes that fight so goddamn intriguing. Maybe he proved me wrong. Maybe he would come in and ragdoll Colby, and I'd be like, oh shit, Habib is a fucking bear even at 170. He really was wrestling bears. But for me right now, I feel like his strong suit, and like low key, not to hate on the man, but I think maybe he knows that. Maybe he knows that the way he fights ain't going to translate to 70 because he ain't going to be able to just one-hitter quitter, folks. He has to dominate them, and that ain't going to – he ain't big enough to do that at 170, bro.
He ain't going to do that to Colby. He's definitely not going to do it to Usman.
Nah, it don't seem like it, right? It seems like those are – but see, that's why I can't fuck with Habib like that.
Right.
Because that's why I fuck with Israel Adesanya. That's why BJ Penn, even though he is a shitbird of the epic proportions now, is still my favorite fighter. Because when he moved up and fought George, that was that dude. That's why I love Conor. Because all y'all think what y'all want about him, when Conor was calling Jose's name, nobody was. And when he wanted to move up to 55 and fight Eddie, it was like, yo, he was reaching for like, yo, nobody else wants that fight because it's dangerous. Give me that. Even John Jones now deserves his credit. Move like that's what I want to see. Habib, you want like not that you fucking need my goddamn approval, but like you move up and you take that fight. It said come back and take a fight against Usman or who like Gilbert Burns, Usman, Habib sitting ringside. Like, yo, I want that belt. I want to prove I'm that fucking good. I could be a 2-division champion too, just like piss on Conor. You know what I mean? Like that would shut me the fuck up.
100%. At the same time, you also got to take into the whole equation, the whole thing about his dad passing away. He doesn't want to fight with his dad in his corner. Say what you want about that. Whether that means a lot to him, and so I wonder it might mean that much to him. So we'll see. Still, it's gonna be a while before you.
Either way, I tell you what. Regardless, I'd love to see him at 170. Just because I wonder how much of what he does is skill and how much of it is just him being powerful for that weight class. I wonder if he is that skilled. You know, you hear all those guys, DC and all them talk about he like Luke Rockhold would say like he would have a hard time grappling Habib. I'm genuinely curious. Could Habib really do that to Colby? You know, because if he actually did come back and fight Colby or Usman and did that to them and dominated them the way he dominated 55ers, can you imagine the sort of conversations we would have about Habib then and the limits on what he is or what he could do? It would be astonishing.
It'd be insane. All right. Mackenzie Dern says HMSG talking about who's the hottest. Alejandra Azular is the hottest, but she's in Bellator. I haven't seen her. Mackenzie Dern could throw off your mental game with her accent changes. Right. You might make it crazier in bed.
That's a fact.
All right. Lipsky is the most attractive. I like Jessica Rose Park, though. Like, the second person to say it. Money is ruined, Connie. He has nothing to be hungry over anymore. I don't really buy that anymore. I used to, right? I don't know if I buy that anymore, but honestly, I can't even say that with complete confidence. I think I have to wait till the next fight, see how he does. But you might be right, dude. Shit, it definitely happens to boxers. If he doesn't change his mindset, then his big name fights are over. I think he's got a couple more in the bag, but you're right, a couple more losses, and we're gonna be like, all right, has been. Habib Usman will be insane. Agreed. I truly think that Habib will fight one more time, and that's it. He's just trying to cement his legacy, and then he's out. That with the GSP fight, right?
Yeah, yes, cocksuckers. And I tell you what, if he comes back and beats George, his legacy still doesn't come back and beat Usman. That's your legacy fight. I know that's the unpopular opinion, but that's the fucking legacy fight, not George.
Yeah, definitely not Michael Chandler. I don't really care about that fight. For real, man, I don't want to see that at all. Talking about Habib and GSP. Who the fuck would win between Habib and GSP? I don't know. I just want to see Habib lose. Yeah, probably. I just want to see Habib lose. I don't know why. I just do. And Tank 28, what's up, dude? All right, let's very quickly go over this weekend's card because we gotta run.
There ain't much on this card, bro. It's top heavy as fuck.
Very top heavy, yeah. So just some names on the prelims here. Molly McCann's coming back off a loss, I believe. Carol Rosa against Jocelyn Edwards. Devontae Smith against Justin James. Timur Valiev's back against Martin Day. Clay Guida against Michael Johnson. So that's a nice little one against two veterans. One more vet than the other, but still. And then the main card kicks off at 6 p.m. my time. So it's 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Carlos Diego Ferreira against Benil Dariush. That's a fight. That's a fight. Cody Stamen, who's his opponent? I dropped out. Fuck. Andre Ewell. Dropped out of that fight.
Got the same first and last name, Askar,
right.
Fire.
Askar came in on short notice to fight Cody Stamen, which is good. Cody's a bad motherfucker, though. That's gonna be a good fight. It might be a good performance for him unless Askar comes out of nowhere and just murks him. Alejandro Pantoja against Mano Cape. Solid fight. Marion Reno against Macy Kiasen.
That's a good fight. That's a really good fight, actually. Macy Kiasen.
I don't know how you say that shit, but still. All right. Co-main event. Yeah. Co-main event, though, is fire. Corey Sandhagen against Frankie Edgar. Sure, Frankie Edgar's not in his prime anymore, but that guy's got so much fucking This is a what's it called? A ESPN Plus card, dude. It's not a pay-per-view. But yeah, you're right. Nobody. But Frankie comes in with a ton of experience. Corey Sandhagen could use this win in a way to launch himself into the title contention, definitely at 135. What do you think?
Look, obviously Corey Sandhagen's going to be the favorite, especially coming off of that the fucking spinning heel kick to the head of Marlon Moraes.
So fucking insane.
Beautiful. I think he'll win this fight, but I tell you what, I don't think it looks like that. Frankie's not that dude, Jack. You don't just spin a heel kick, Frankie. I mean, anything's possible, but boy, I tell you what, if anybody was going to spoil the fucking Corey Sandhagen party, it would be Frankie. I mean, this is a tough fight for him, man. This is a fight that he should win, but Frankie Edgar's one of those fighters who's been ruining my dreams since the first BJ fight. I mean, that motherfucker just is a tough out. Mm-hmm. Certain guys, Jose Aldo, a few guys have had Frankie's number. But other than that, man, he is a handful for anybody ever that he fights.
Yeah, no, Frankie's going to come in knowing that he's the underdog and everything. But they interviewed him today or yesterday. He's talking about The day I believe I don't have a chance or whatever at a title is when I probably should leave. So he, makes a good point. That also brings up Chris Weidman's latest quote about how he believes he's gonna retire the champion. Yeah, I'm just like, all right, Chris, like, dude, I appreciate you believing yourself to that extent. It's a little delusional, but all power to you.
I mean, listen, to be fair, if Bisping did it, I suppose he can too. You better get a big win under your belt, though, Chris. You're due for a big win. So let's see what happens.
It'd be a bigger win than Uriah Hall. It's got to be bigger than that.
Yeah.
Raider says this main card is fire. Let's go, Frankie. Sandhagen's going to upset a lot of Edgar fans. Yeah, see? Nobody can really figure out who's going to win. All right. Main event. Alistair Overeem against Alexander Volkov. I am getting a lot of people saying Volkov isn't just going to win. He's going to finish Alistair Overeem. I don't fully disagree. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I fucking think. Yeah, again, listen, they're heavyweights. They can bang. Obviously, Alistair Overeem is probably the most credentialed striker in MMA.
Yeah.
So clearly he's in the runnings to knock out anybody he ever fucking competes against. But Alexander Volkov has got to be your favorite in this fight. He's a fucking biggin. He actually uses his reach well. To be fair, he was beating the piss out of Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis literally knocked him out in the last 5 seconds of that fight. I don't know, but I think that's at the very least one of the very few fights that he's actually lost in the UFC, if not the only fight that he's lost in the UFC. So Volkov is a bad motherfucker. Alistair Overeem says that he wants to go on one last run for the title. I think his run ends here. I think that this is a fight fucking for Volkov to lose. Maybe Alistair could come in and use a little bit of his wrestling and shit, and it could get interesting. But I think if he chooses to stand with Volkov, he's going to get fucking thunderstruck.
Yeah, I think Overeem's best option here is to clinch and dirty box a little bit, maybe drag him down, put his weight on him, and get him tired. But even then, man, who knows?
I feel like Volkov actually, like I said, man, he's one of the few guys to be 6'6". What is he, 6'6"?
Let me find out.
Yeah. He uses his reach well. I feel like he uses his height and reach well. He doesn't get thunderstruck nearly as much as Stefan Struve or a lot of the taller guys that get popped out like that.
Right.
Like I said, he did get fucking thunderstruck by Derek Lewis. But again, to be fair, that was like the last fight. All the rest of the punches Derek Lewis fucking threw in that fight missed. Like he does a pretty good shot of avoiding, that big punch. So
yeah, and a win over Overeem would be huge for him too. First guy to beat Greg Hardy, which it doesn't mean much anymore, but coming off a TKO win over Walt Harris, he's got Fabricio Verdum a win over Fabricio, Stefan Struve, Roy Nelson. Like a heavyweight, a win over this win over Alistair Overeem, especially a finish. We talked about as far as the title fight. So
yeah, man. Other than is the Derek Lewis fight the only fight that he's lost in the UFC? Am I right about that?
No, he lost to Curtis Blaydes by decision last June, and in 2018 got knocked the fuck out by Derek Lewis, and literally the last 11 seconds. It was 11 seconds left in the fight.
But to be fair, then right, so he gets knocked out by Derek Lewis with like 6 seconds to go in a fight that he's winning the whole time, and so he's got essentially one sort of loss to Curtis Blaydes, which is a grappler to complete. Right. Was that a decision loss to Blaydes?
Decision, yeah.
What are you going to do, right? I imagine that fight don't ring a bell, but I imagine Curtis Blaydes fucking took him down and dominated the wrestling department. I highly doubt he outboxed him. So, again, I ain't mad at Volkov. Matter of fact, dare I say, Volkov is still sort of in that he could be a champion talk as far as I'm concerned.
100%. 100%. No, you're right. So what do you think about if Alistair Overeem wins?
I mean, listen, if Alistair wins, I can't say all that nice shit about Alexander Volkov and then be like, if he wins, it ain't nothing. That's a big deal too. If Alistair can come out and get especially if he can get an impressive win, a finish here. Listen, I still think with John Jones coming back to heavyweight, we all seen what happened the last time him and Francis fought. I still think him making a run at the title is pretty fucking slim to none right now. Yeah. But if that's his plan, a big knockout win here against Volkov will go a long way in making that actual fucking reality. So,
100%. All right. I think Overeem win. Kind of like this. Raiders says another $800,000 paycheck for Overeem. That's kind of how I take it. Win or
For sure.
lose.
Yep.
I don't care. Reem forever. This is a great fight. Volkov's gonna finish Overeem in the second. God damn, dude, that's early.
I ain't mad at that though, dude.
I don't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt that either, man. I think Volkov is going to come out looking sharp, dog. I wouldn't be surprised if Volkov finished Alistair in the first round. Alistair's just shot worn, man. He has been in so many. I mean, he has the perfect nickname. He truly is the Demolition Man. He truly is.
I miss Overeem though. I almost wish they would just allow him to do roids.
Oh, yeah, listen, if they were fighting in Pride about 9-10 years ago, this would be a whole different fight. Volkov would be done, son.
Yeah, I'd be fucking done. All right. Let's see. All right. I think that's gonna do it for. Sorry, I'm getting like work emails now, which is weird for 8.
Burn the shit out of myself too.
Yeah, you're good. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, about on that fucking thing. Again, this is this Saturday night, Friday night. You can watch Paige Van Zandt either get beat or beat somebody's ass and whatever. Nothing else going on this weekend, right? Super Bowl's on Sunday. And for some reason on my screen, I still have a picture of. It's like it's a video of me, you, and Aaron. This is Keyboard Warriors Live episode 40, September 1st, 2015. And the title of the show is Dana's a Douche, More Rhonda and Midgets in a Cage. I don't know why that is, but
cage is interesting. That's no doubt.
Right. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but one of the comments is I don't even care if y'all went on a million tangents and went off topic. God knows how many times. This has to be one of the funniest episodes of Keyboard Warriors ever. Fred had me in tears. So that was 5 years ago, dude. So, and not a gray hair on my beard anywhere. And that's fucking wild to me.
And listen,
anyway, we've been doing this for a long time, dude.
Just for the record, what bra was that when we were talking about the had the ass?
Had the ass. Oh, Jesse Rose Clark?
Yeah.
Jesse, yeah.
Yeah. See, boys. That's an ass.
Yeah.
Like if you like Jesse Rose Clark, if you think Jesse Rose Clark's working with some butt meat, like that's an ass.
There you go. There you go. All right, hey. Overeem, that's a good point. Overeem's one of the best fighters to never win a belt. Agreed. All right, Red, appreciate you, HM. Thank you. Who is that?
I don't know. It's just on Instagram. I'll just say that's an ass. Mackenzie, they like Mackenzie Dern's got a big butt. No, Mackenzie Dern don't got nothing. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a badunky dunk.
I thought you were gonna try to pull up Megan the Stallion or whatever.
That's who I should have went to now.
There you go. All right, shout out to everyone tuning in tonight. Otis, Jesse, Mr. Beckham, Raider. What else do we have? HMS, I knew we had you in here somewhere. Jeremiah, I know Adam Woods is in here at some point. Everyone that tuned in, you guys are dope as fuck. Appreciate the help. Tank 28 is back. Appreciate you hanging out, dude. All right. I'm like out of it now, but let me throw on some banners here. Follow all the social medias on here. Kirby_MMA for Fred, Elot32 for myself, Jesse that's 1983, and of course RipTheWarriors.com, SpressPros.com. You guys are dope as fuck. We'll catch you guys next week on another episode of Keyboard Warriors Live, especially we'll be talking this weekend's card and whatever happens to Paige Van on Friday. So for myself and Fred, appreciate the fuck out of you guys. Good night and good night, Wilshire.